of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, well, welcome guys to the Stanley Parable. This is a very well-known game. I have watched gameplay footage of this, but that was like a few years ago. And this is the most recent updated version that I really have no idea what's they've added a lot of stuff, and so I have no idea what they added and stuff. So let's give it a shot. I do know the premise a little bit. The guy's gonna talk to you, and you can make the right or wrong choice. I do know that. Can I go in here? Apparently not. I think this is a Half-Life mod.
All of
Half-Life 2
his
mod.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
A zombie
room. Perhaps
apocalypse.
he had simply missed a memo.
Go where? I was talking. Sorry. Can I take this? That's a nice picture. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. There's a note on the ground! I just closed the door with my mind! Oh my god! I'm amazing. And now I'm teabagging. Can I read what this says? No, it's whited out. Of course. Where am I going? Help me out, dude. Where am I going? I'm sorry. Be my Valentines. Go F yourself. Where? What? What? Okay. Let me in. Let me in. I want to play a game. No! Don't let him in! I just want to be your friend! Whoa.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Ah, shut
Perhaps
up.
he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
What if they're in the employee lounge, you dick? You never know, they could just be on break. Oh, nobody
Yes, truly a room worth admiring.
Truly
It had really
is.
been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Can't jump.
But eager to get back to
Oh.
business, Stanley took the
You just
first
cut off
open
there, bro.
door on his left.
You mean this door? Haha. I deked it. Oh my
Stanley was so
god!
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Well, you know me. I hate directions.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Uh-oh.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the
Coffee.
platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Oops. Did not mean to kill myself. That was not my intention there. All the way back to the
All
beginning.
of his co-workers were... Wait, no. this isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
What? What? What'd you say? What? I don't know. I just kind of ran out before he even started talking. Okay, I'll take the door on the left.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Hey, go
he
yourself.
entered the door on his left.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Tips for not
Feeling
getting fired.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find
I
an
was
answer
reading that.
there.
Screw you then. Won't let me read. Not that I can.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
And if I don't? What if I admire these wrenches and those pliers?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
That has a
No
new...
reason to still be here.
That has a radiation symbol on it. I want to play with it. Can I close the door? I can.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Actually, I'm crouching. I'm not standing, so get your facts straight, dick. Alright.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
No, I'm not,
Standing
actually. I
around
left.
doing nothing? Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh! No? When are you gonna talk, dick? Anything here? Just gonna hide under the staircase. This is perfectly normal. Not weird at all. Car! My car.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And
Let me
in such
go!
a competitive economy,
Let me
why
go!
had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a
going in a
single
circle.
moment for no reason at all.
It's repeating itself.
None of it made any logical sense.
It's repeating
And as
itself.
Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example,
I can't go
why
back.
couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh, I was
Why
already
did
wondering
doors
that.
close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Because you're a dick.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
Yeah.
Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh,
That's so.
what relief Stanley felt to
That's
have
so.
finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. He thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well
Can't
enjoy
wake up
this
soon
while
'cause
I'm
we're
still
already
lucid.
dead.
So
I don't know, he might.
he imagined himself flying.
Actually, don't know.
And began to gently float above the ground.
Woohoo!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while
Is that
he
what he
thought
thought?
it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control. That this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
I wish I had my own apartment.
My life is normal. I am normal.
I don't want to be normal.
Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Are we good?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley.
Hey, not good yet.
I have a boss. I have an office.
Worse.
I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone
Is
hear
Gygus gonna get me?
Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
All right.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
What the shite?
I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Woo! Oscars! What the balls? Okay, well... What just occurred? What just happened? Do we just insanity finally just set in and we're just like, oh, that massive heart attack. What the? Alright, well, I'm gonna end this one here, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not like and share the video? It would be much appreciated. And if you want to see more of my content, subscribe to the Ghost Watch. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.